Welcome to You Name It with your host, Jerry Taylor, and myself,
Hola, Davin.
Davin Christensen. You cut me off. You actually let me do the
Hola.
intro this time. Hola. Hola, Jerry.
I didn't actually I didn't know when you were going to pause. You paused, and I thought I had to say hola.
That's the time I usually do it. I step on you, too, so it worked out well.
Professional broadcasters.
Another week in the You Name It podcast empire.
Yes.
You're,
Let's say hi to Laura Balfour. Laura, hello. I like your pictures on Facebook. Thank you for listening to the You Name It show.
Hi, Laura.
See you soon.
Yep, I got a shout out for Rebecca. Hashtag cheese. She wants to be called cheese. I don't know why. But she actually thinks she contributes to the show, and she just listens. So I guess she's contributing in a way.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
That's true. So anyway, what's going on this week, Jerry?
Right now, I'm home, and you're home. But we were both in Atlanta. So this week we have to talk about our Atlanta trip a little bit. Also, we'll talk about a little story that you have to make sure we don't forget. It's called How I Made the Terrorist Watch List.
Okay.
And there's a couple other little things, too.
Yep. I've got an anniversary police illegal immigrant story for you. So you can tease the listeners with that.
What do we want to go with? Like, we were going to review our little trip to Sister Louisa's Church of the Living Room and Ping Pong Emporium in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a fantastic place to go, I'm telling you.
It's totally sacrilegious. So the story goes, Jerry, that Sister Louisa was a nun. And then she found out she couldn't drink, she couldn't smoke, she couldn't fornicate. So she decided
because she didn't know that going in.
Yeah, so she decided to open up her own church bar. It's a bar, but they call it a church. Jerry's never been, so I convinced him while we were in Atlanta. He had to do an overnight press thing, and he was tired as heck, but I got him out there. And they were doing Church Organ Karaoke.
Which was a lot of fun. I really thought that was cool. You got a guy up there, just live music playing. He's playing the church organ. You don't have a standard karaoke setup. You have just lyrics on paper, so you kind of have to know the song that you're going to sing.
Okay.
And it was fun. I don't know what else to say. It was fun watching some of the people do stuff, like that young kid that was doing the Ice Cube song.
Yes.
So listening to somebody sing Ice Cube to a church organ is pretty funny.
And let me give the listeners an idea. You can go to their website. The name is ridiculously long. It's Sister Louisa's Church of the Living Room Couch and Ping Pong Emporium. I'm still trying to figure out how it's a ping pong emporium when they have one ping pong table, but
yeah, well, I guess you can call anything you want. Hey, if you hear any weird noises in the background, that's the children that Lisa is babysitting today, which I can tell right now that they're yelling. So everybody disregard that. It bleeds into my professional studio,
which is your garage
/ garage,
and I'm in my garage, so we're all good. But this
anyway, you could just search Sister Louisa's Atlanta, and you'll find it.
Or even Church Organ Karaoke. They do it every Wednesday. I highly suggest if you're in town for a convention or anything, you have to go. It's so there's so much stuff to look at on the walls and sayings, and we met the security guard at the end of the night, and he looked like a giant garden gnome. Jerry,
he did, and he had the voice of Sam Kinison too.
Yes, he did.
He did. He had that exact same voice. You close your eyes, and Sam Kinnison's corpse is talking to you.
It was almost like we were at a remote location, Jerry, because Sister Louisa's actually, as we posted stuff, liked it.
Yeah, and thanked us and everything like that too.
Yep, which was very odd. And your song I got Jerry to actually go up and sing a song.
Yes, wasn't
your
too much
song
that you had to do to get that.
You're like mini viral. You've got over 3,700 hits on that song.
I know.
We put it on the You Name It podcast Facebook page, so any of the listeners want to check it out. It's Jerry doing Gilligan's Island theme song to House of the Rising Sun by the Doors.
All right. Now that sounds stupid until you explain what the theory behind it is. What you don't do is you don't tell the audience that you're going to sing different lyrics to the House of the Rising Sun. Right. So you let them wait to see like how you're going to do singing that song. And it usually takes like a couple of lyrics in before they start to realize that you're not singing the right words. They don't know what's going on. And I try and do it very seriously so that it keeps the secret longer. Because if I start pointing it out, then it's no fun. Yep. So the fun of it for me is to watch their faces start to realize, wait a minute, this is not the right words. What the hell words are these? I know these words. God damn it, it's Gilligan's Island. You know? So that's fun.
The problem is the audience for Gilligan's Island, it's we're starting to get old, Jerry.
Mm-hmm. But in Sister Louisa's defense, the age group in that bar spanned decades. It was 21-year-olds up to like 60-year-olds I saw in there that night. So there was a big variety of shapes and colors and ages. It was like a melting pot.
And sexual orientations.
Yep, it was like a giant melting pot of everything. It's like a new young progressive person's liberal dream in that place. Mm-hmm. Probably say. But it was a lot of fun, even for people of our age that aren't necessarily super duper liberal or super duper conservative. A little middle of the road action here.
Did you open up that little box by the bar that said "Do not open"?
You did. You brought me over to it and opened it for me, and it was like some little Jesus in there or something, right?
It's a little doll naked jacking off.
Oh, it wasn't Jesus. Yeah, it was a little doll. Yeah, you're right.
And he's just jacking it. There's a lot of Pee Wee Herman and nuns on skates.
Like crucified Pee Wee Herman.
Yep. Sacrilegious velvet Jesus paintings with spray painting on it and writing and...
Yeah, so it sounds horrible, right? Just because even when we're describing it, it sounds horrible. But if you see it all together, the big, giant mishmash of all this stuff, then there's a whole different feeling behind it and a whole different vibe you get from it, too. It's not mean. It's just stupid. And they're going for stupid on purpose, I think.
Yeah. I don't think...
like the good stupid, not the...
Plus, they're in the Bible Belt. That's like the whole kicker to the whole thing, because they're in the Bible Belt of Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't get burned down yet.
I'm surprised there weren't protesters outside, but...
Thank you, Sister Louisa's, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, you actually do feel like you're not at a bar. You're more at a house party, sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Except for having to pay for your drinks, but other than that... But they do have
I don't
everything
even know how
from
much the bills were.
Pabst Blue Ribbon to Sam Smith Oatmeal Stout. They've got the gamut of alcohol, mixed drinks, all that stuff. If you're ever in Atlanta...
An oatmeal stout?
Sam Smith Oatmeal Stout. It's made by monks.
I didn't know they had that. I would have had that because I was drinking my standard Guinness. Yeah. And I could have branched out and had an oatmeal stout.
And that's actually made by monks, Jerry.
Why didn't you tell me?
Which... is ironic that we're in Sister Louisa's. You could have drank a monk-made beer.
Would that be irony?
That would be irony.
Sure. I don't think it's actually irony, which brings me back to wanting to say this again. Ryan, stop saying that's ironic when it's not.
That's ironic. He says that a lot, huh?
Yeah, not Ryan Wilson from the beginning episodes of the show, but Ryan at our work.
Right,
he has a habit of saying it all the time. I have another friend, Bill Benbow, crazy name. He says it too. He says it all the time. He throws in ironic when it's not. It'd be like, the ironic part is that I got in my car and I drove to work. There's nothing There's no irony involved in any of that. It's just a word that you like to throw out there because it's a crutch.
Yep.
This is how we can tell if Ryan listens to the show, because if he comes around and yells at me, then I'll be happy to be yelled at to know that he listens. If he doesn't, then I'm safe to make fun of him.
I think you have more friends that listen to this show than I do.
Well, I just have more friends than you anyway.
That's true. Fuck you, Jerry. Someone in Arizona is drinking right now.
Yeah. I kind of promote it. Didn't you load up that gnome doorman with the show on his phone or not?
I might have. So hopefully he's listening. Thank you. You do look like a garden gnome.
Yes, you do. The nicest, biggest garden gnome I've ever met. The garden gnome that could like strangle you and throw you out to the street. But you're not afraid of it, because as long as you're not a jackass, it's cool there.
He's like John Kivy. Nicest super guy, but big and ominous. And just
he could crumble you up like a ball of tinfoil.
And it's like, how I always tease Josh, one of the guys we work with, that he has baggy, skinny jeans?
Josh does? I don't even know. I think I remember you saying that, though.
Yeah, he's... I don't know how could you have skinny jeans that are baggy at the same time? But this garden gnome is security guard, looks like he can beat your ass, but super nice guy. So contradiction. You just wonder,
Yeah. Wonder if there's any irony in that.
Ryan. That's ironic, Ryan.
Well, we would take turns going outside to smoke because you didn't want to lose your seats. After a while, we just were doing whatever we wanted to anyway. But at the beginning, I was kind of just looking over at the guy and looking to see how mean he looked. And he was by himself the whole night. Nobody interacted with him at all.
Yeah.
So finally, I broke down and had to go over and talk to him because I thought, this guy... And it turns out he's like the nicest guy in the place.
You almost want to hug him.
But there were a lot of cool and weird people there. We had a lot of weird discussions with crazy people, and they're wearing crazy 1940s hats and mixed with I don't know how to describe. What was that one guy wearing? He was like a smash up between Sinatra and a hippie or something. He had on like a vest with a fedora, and it didn't all match, but it seemed to pull that shit off.
And people,
of course, he's the super gay guy too.
People were bringing in their own church robes, like they were in a church choir. Like we had those girls sitting next to us at the beginning that both had identical church robes, and they got up and
like
they
sang.
sang.
Groupies.
It's a fun time.
Louis C.K. was in there too. Remember, Louis C.K. got up and sang the Muppet song.
Yep.
There was a guy looked just like Louis C.K. who had lost 15 pounds. All right, so he looked just like Louis C.K. with cancer.
I got a question for you, Jerry.
You're just going to let those things... You know what? I'm going to get the soundboard going so I can go wah, wah, wah.
No, I wanted to talk about the real celebrity that you ran into.
I did, people. But that was at the end of the trip. Something happened at the beginning of the trip that I noticed about Atlanta. Do you want to hear that? We can move on to that as we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Hang on a second.
It's very
Sorry,
rare
everybody.
that Jerry and I are in the same city together at the same time. So this was actually a nice treat for me.
Yeah, rare and dangerous.
It's good to see you, and you had to clear it with Lisa to make sure you were allowed to go out with me.
I didn't have to clear anything. She knew I was going out with you. I told her I didn't want to. I didn't know how tired I would be after staying up all night, and she goes, "You're going. You're gonna go.
She saw you packing your harmonica, and she knew.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play that. I really wanted to play in Atlanta. Maybe next time. We actually have to.
Next year we can go to the Northside Tavern. They have blues every night, and we'll get you up on stage with Mudcat.
Yeah, I could do that. Probably pull that off easier than getting on a karaoke stage because you got to wait in line for karaoke. I can go up and talk my way up. I'm good at it. Sometimes I even just break down and play a little bit for them on the side, and then they go, "Oh, okay. You're not an asshole that doesn't know what he's doing."
No, but you're the asshole playing for somebody else singing Madonna or something like that.
I don't do that. What are you talking about?
No.
No, I know when to stop and when to go. In fact, I don't like to do it so often because it gets repetitive to me. Sometimes I'll go play with a band and they'll keep wanting me to play longer and longer, and I'll be like, I'm running out of shit to do here. It's not like this instrument's that versatile.
Yeah, and see, a lot of karaoke places make it all about them, and you never want to do that.
Yes. Right. Yes. Leave that one right there.
So go ahead and
yes.
Tell us more about your Atlanta trip.
This is the first thing that happened. There's two things I'll tell you. One of them involves you, one of them doesn't. But the first thing I noticed, it was really strange. When I went in Atlanta, my first day, two separate locations, I can't remember. One was the convention hall, one was somewhere else in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Both said, "I like your glasses." And I'm like, what is that? Strangers telling me that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean? There's something behind that. Is it that Atlanta doesn't have horn rim style black frame glasses? Am I the only one in the city that has those?
Might be. And there's the thing I've also noticed is there's not a lot of bald people down south. Certain cities I go to,
the sun makes their hair grow?
Yeah, so you stand out. All the bald people I saw in Atlanta were people that were with the event that we were at, or it was you and me.
Yeah, or it was a mirror.
I mean,
so that was strange. I don't know what to make of that. It just seems strange in the same day, two people saying that in the same city, but never at home, never anywhere else.
Did they ask you for money afterwards?
No, they were just doing their jobs. They were like regular old people working. And all right, so that was just strange. Maybe somebody has an idea why that would happen, and they can tell us in the future. But the second thing is something that Davin might have forgotten. We had what you call a little crew, drinks with the crew. And it happens every once in a while, towards the end of the season usually. We gather the technicians, and we go to the hotel bar, and we have a couple of drinks.
I know. I remember this now. Yes.
Yes. So we're doing that with our great crew of Justin and Frank and who else? Justin and Frank and you. Was that just the three of you?
It was just us. Dave left already?
Dave couldn't make it. That's right. No, Dave was working that night. He had to leave the next day. We had to have somebody on the show floor, so he was out of that, and I told him we'd make up for it or whatever. So anyway, the bartender was swapped out for this young guy who I could tell he was kind of new at the job too. Couldn't you tell that when he was doing that?
Oh yeah, and service. It
took him a long time to make. Yeah,
service in Atlanta sucks as it is, and now to have a new guy in training behind the bar at a high. It's a 4-diamond hotel that we're at.
Yes.
And to have a new guy back there learning, he's trying his best, but he just doesn't quite have the.
Well, the first guy was just normal northern bartender style. He was shelling them out fast because he knows he's going to get more tips when he shells them out fast.
Right.
And that was before everybody showed up. So anyway, they switch him out, and this guy decides, "Hey, can you be my guinea pig?" He asked. This is how strange this is. He asked one guy. Mm-hmm. And then the guy goes, "Sure, I'll try." He goes, "I want to make you my own drink, the one that I've created." And he goes, "All right, I'll try it." And then he pours out 4 of them.
Right.
Which then I had to tell him that I didn't want it because I don't want to drink that anyway. I'm drinking a Guinness, and I don't want to drink some weirdo's, either super sweet or real horrible drink or whatever. Because it turns out I made a wise choice.
He said it was going to be like his version of a margarita.
And there was really nothing like that in there, was there?
No. Okay, go ahead. Continue with the story, Jerry.
Yes, you're right. I left out the fact that he proclaimed that it was his version of a margarita. It was green. I remember that. Mm-hmm. And so these guys, because I'm the only one that's sitting there not drinking this, I'm watching each one of them take a sip of this drink, and each one of their faces were like worse than a baby sucking on a lemon.
Oh my God.
It was horrible.
It was awful.
They couldn't hide how bad this shit tasted from their faces, and fortunately the guy was turned around most of the time. He didn't notice. But he kept building up like how cool his drink was, and can you guess what's in it? So that goes to phase 2, where Frank somehow or another has some incredible palate, or Frank watched him mix it and started layering out the stuff for him. Said, I taste a little bit of agave. So I think there's tequila in there. Yep. I think there's whatever. He goes through like 5 ingredients.
It was like tequila, scotch. He broke a raw egg in it. There was lime juice and some kind of mango.
How do you say Grand Marnier? Yeah.
God, it was fucking awful. Oh my God.
A bunch of shit like that. And then he kept pushing it too. He kept going like, you taste that? Doesn't it taste a little bit smoky? A little smoky flavor? And then explains that's the scotch or something like that. Mm. So then he decides he doesn't know what to name it. So the naming starts. That's my favorite part. And don't worry, they were good. They weren't super mean. It was sort of hidden. I think I may have said the meanest thing because
you caught it. It went right over his head.
Yeah, the one I said, the guy's too young to know what I'm talking about. I said, "Oh, I've got an idea for this drink. You should name it Epicat." Like that. And he looks at me and he's confused, and I went, all right, and just dropped it because I didn't want to have to explain to him that it was vomit-inducing medicine named Epicat.
Do they still sell that, by the way? They probably do.
I don't know, but that's what it's there for, to get someone to throw up so they can get the freaking poison out of them. Uh-huh. So it's Davin's turn. Davin says, "Oh, I know." And I thought, oh, here we go with a good one. Well, he hid it really well. And he goes, you should call it Tainted Love. And I was dying because he found a way to put the word taint in there without making it sound like he was saying it tastes like somebody's taint. It was beautiful.
It's got the taste of, it's between ass and piss. It just sucks.
Yeah, I don't even know if anybody could describe the horror that it was to me. Everybody just sort of dropped it. Now, the other funny thing was that our friend, workmate Justin, was sitting there, and the guy came over to bug him about what he thought of it. He's like, "Hey, do you like it?" And Justin's like, he's so good at being straight-faced with people while lying to them. Because he just went, "Oh, yeah, it was good." And I sort of detected like a little bit of a smoky flavor in there. Right. And the guy's got no idea. He's just repeating. Yeah. Justin sat there, listened to him, found out what he was interested in, and repeated it back to him.
Well, the quandary I always have is the guy's doing this. He's not charging us. We're his guinea pigs. Yeah. Does he really want an honest opinion, or does he want us to stroke him? Because I could not finish the drink, and I passed it on to Frank, and he couldn't finish it. Noise. And it's like, what do? You don't want to insult the guy, because maybe then he'll charge us for it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think what he thought would happen was that everybody would go, "This is amazing," and then they would listen to his crazy list of ingredients and then be admiring of it and go, "Wow, that's so eclectic and it fits together so well." But I'm sure that's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to get it from you guys. You guys just let it go away. It was like you guys were all praying that he would just go away and not notice that they weren't all drank.
God, it was awful.
But if we want to be honest, the real thing that we should have told him is that doesn't taste good at all. That combination of things tastes terrible, and I'm sorry to tell you that, but you want an honest opinion. Yep. What are you doing putting eggs and scotch and Grand Marnier and tequila and lime juice and everything into a shitty little glass?
See, now I've got a buddy in Orlando that owns a bar, Johnny Blanco. He owns the Arena. And if he's ever in the bar, he's the only one that knows the recipe to it, but he's got a 7-liquor drink that he makes. And he does it so fast you cannot tell what he's mixing together. But
is he a bottle flipper?
But literally one glass of this stuff, and it's like, I think he calls it the panty dropper.
Well, he probably would.
It's like having Blanco. 3 Long Island iced teas in one drink. It's ridiculous. There's so much alcohol in this. And you cannot taste the alcohol. That's the weird part.
Let's go back and think about the name that he chose for this drink anyway. And let's think about it rationally and logically. Yes. What his feelings are.
It's roofie.
If he's mixing up a super... exactly. He might as well name it date rape. Here, have a date rape on me.
I have no idea what he would charge for this drink. He doesn't advertise it or anything. It's just a drink he makes after hours with his friends. When we're all sitting in the bar after it closes, hanging out, shooting the shit, lighting up cigars, hanging out. It's not something he would serve to customers.
There's a famous rock club in western Wayne County, Michigan, west side of Detroit, called the Studio Lounge. And you might have even heard of it from your side of town. But that's where all of these crazy little bands played, and a lot of famous bands that went on to do stuff. But it was just a plain old-fashioned rock club. That's all you got. Any night, just a band was playing, and you sat there and watched it. But they had one of those drinks, too, that everybody was... It was legendary, and people were fearful of it. Now, I don't know why, because it's just freaking booze. The thing you should be afraid of is like moonshine that's 110 proof or something.
See, now
because whatever you're mixing together isn't going to make it any worse than just drinking straight up grain alcohol or something, you know?
See, nowadays you have to have a catchy name for them, though. The drinks.
That's what I mean. I was going to tell you what his was. This is way back. This goes back to the early 70s. It was called Sam's Banana.
Oh, do you really want to drink Sam's Banana?
No, I never ordered it, but we get it though.
And you don't want to do, they got sex on the beach and stuff like that, and you don't want to do a panty dropper. I think he should change his name to Call Uber Now.
Yeah. This is the Uber. that guy, that bartender, man, we could have hammered him on drink names forever. Could have been forever that whole night if we wanted to.
It would have went over his head.
Oh, we could have got horrible with it, This is called the Mung. The Mung Lips.
Mung Lips.
I know what this is. It's distilled body odor. It's just so sick, whatever that was that he gave you guys. The faces. I wish I would have just done the video recording of the faces.
They could have called
Justin's was great.
GD backwash. Garbage disposal backwash, because that's what it tasted like.
Yeah, broken garbage disposal, draining out onto the old cabinet underneath, and you have to lick it off the old cabinet that's already soaked with detergents.
How did he ever think that would taste good? I have no idea.
So, that brings me to another theory.
Okay.
He just looked at us, didn't like us, and decided to fuck with us by pretending he was making a really good drink and making you guys taste garbage that he threw together.
And see how we'd react.
Exactly.
He was playing
I kept trying to gauge that. Right, I kept trying to decide whether or not he was actually that conniving, but he didn't appear to be.
No, I don't think he was smart enough to do that.
But it crossed my mind, and I sat there trying to figure it out for a while.
Okay,
That was a lot of fun.
Same guy.
Okay.
Last night.
Yeah.
We were just...
Same guy.
Yeah, the same bartender.
Oh, you went back and you were there last night.
Okay. Yes. And I was drinking with a few of our coworkers, and he was pouring... I got a Moscow Mule and a Stella. He was pouring so heavy and so strong that we were getting sides. Like, the guy... one of the guys I was drinking with was drinking a Diet Coke and rum, I believe. And it was so strong, he got a side of Diet Coke to mix in with it.
Oh.
Definitely pouring with a heavy hand. And Stephanie over there, honey, you should just go home. Because if you're going to have that kind of attitude and you don't want the customers to show it, you just need to leave.
Well, I certainly do appreciate you letting us in on that story.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was burping while you were telling us the unknown story about Stephanie. Like, we're all supposed to understand what you're saying.
Well, the thing is, one of the people that I was sitting with used to be a bartender and used to manage a bar in New York City. And listening to her comments while she was drinking some of these drinks at the same bar that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. we should have her on the show because she had all kinds of insights about bartenders and mixed drinks and stories from managing a bar in New York City. And she's a little
it sounds to me like you were annoyed by them.
Just a little.
So now you want to talk to her on the show. So let me get it straight. Sitting in the bar with her next to you complaining, you were annoyed by it, but you think it would be perfect for the show.
No, I wasn't annoyed by her. She was great. Her comments were...
Oh, I thought you said keep them to yourself, you were saying.
No. It was... she was good, coming from the experience end of it. But yeah, the bartenders, Stephanie, the bartender, just had this bad attitude, and she was just needed to not be there.
All right, I tuned that part out.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do they have the same name? What am I missing here?
No.
How did I get confused? I'm not even drunk.
And I'm getting there.
I will be on Saturday, the 1st of April.
What are you doing Saturday?
I should say, I will be day after tomorrow. Yep, it's my anniversary, and we're going to have some people over to have some, what we like to call garage beer.
Nice.
And it'll be fun. And it should be a perfect time for me because all of the shows will be running or built.
Okay.
Or on days where there shouldn't be any issues.
So you won't get the phone
So I don't
calls?
have to worry about, I don't want to get the 7 a.m. phone call asking me why something's wrong or reporting some weird thing. Yes, plus the show that I have in Canada is on the West Coast in Pacific time, so that helps too. Mm-hmm. It's not always early.
I know exactly how you feel.
Were you going to...
Because when I was married, we had a party, and it was a weekend, and I was on the phone constantly, and someone asked my ex-wife, "Is your husband a doctor?" No.
A doctor?
No, he's a project manager at an AV company. That was when I was project managing. But, yeah.
He seemed way more important than that.
He's got a truck lost
in
Las
Vegas. A doctor of stupidology.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again? I stomped on you.
Said he's got a truck lost in Las Vegas. That's why he's on the phone. They can't find the dock.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you have an Atlanta one that I stopped you on, or were we just moving on and I wanted to go back?
Well, I did want to talk about Atlanta bums, but we could do that some other time because it's like every other city. It's ridiculous.
We revisit that because we have more to talk about with that, the fun we had outside. I have to touch on something that I told a friend of mine I was going to do.
Oh, we wanted to talk about your Atlanta actual, when you were leaving, you met an actual celebrity.
Oh, that's right. Probably have to post the picture too. So, sitting in airport, waiting at the gate. I no longer have status, so I'm not in the damn Sky Club, all comfy with my feet up. And this group of people, 3 guys, come and sit down. First, it was just the one guy. Comes down, sit down, eating a giant bowl of shrimp. I don't know where he got it from. Okay. Dreadlocks. Big, giant, seemed like 7 feet tall with dreadlocks. And he comes and sits down next to me. And, just doing the usual greeting, how's it going kind of thing. Plugging in his phone, asking me if it's okay, like as though I'm the phone police.
Right.
And then a whole bunch of people start crowding around him and getting pictures with him. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Who's this guy? Mm-hmm. So I realized that if I don't recognize him, I'm not actually a fan.
Right.
So do I really care? I sat around for a while thinking, do I care who this guy is? Because he was really cool, and he was taking multiple pictures with people. It was really crazy because some chick from, the hell's it called? Something Berry, like the smoothie store or something. Pink Berry or something like that. Yep. She came back 4 times to get 4 separate selfies with him in different ways. And he didn't shoo her away or anything like that. So I'm trying to think, who is this guy? Is he a
super nice guy?
Is he a sports star or whatever? But he handled it really well. And you and I have both been exposed to a lot of celebrities with our different jobs.
Right.
So it's nice to see that happen because it's not always the case. I really respect people who will put up with that because they know that that's where their living comes from, is from those people.
Correct.
Like Mo Collins, the comedian woman, was talking to me about it when we were hanging out in California one time, and she spelled that out really nice, just saying, look, I'm grateful for them. So they are never wasting my time, and I'll do whatever I can to make sure that they're happy, because that's what it's all about. And I'm like, that's cool. That's what this guy was like. Anyway, I snuck a picture of him, and I posted on my Facebook, and I go, all right, well, if anybody knows who this is, you could let me know.
Right.
In the meantime, we're having a little banter, talk. He moved across from me and tried to plug in across so he could be sitting across from his friends, and then it wasn't working, and I helped him because I was telling him, hey, the plugs underneath that whole bench seat are unplugged. And I wasn't going to crawl under there and fix it for him.
Right.
But it's funny because I'm just some old dude that doesn't have a clue of who this guy is.
It doesn't care.
And I really don't care. But as it turns out, it was even more ridiculous than I ever imagined. Because I was thinking sports guy.
Uh-huh.
We finally find out who it is.
And who was it?
This is a person by the name of, let me see if I can get this straight. Waka Flocka Flame.
Waka Flocka Flame?
Mm-hmm.
Some famous rap guy.
Yeah, and this is what's weird about it, too. He's known for being really extreme, too.
Okay.
Like way out there, probably super edgy.
Is he one of those
and
gangster
he was
rappers?
Not that guy in... I don't know. I'm just following by what people are saying on the Facebook once everybody started figuring out who it was. And then people were sharing that post with other people. I thought that was weird, too. I have a friend that said, can I borrow this picture? But she didn't. She shared my whole post with her group of people.
Oh.
And like, this is my friend Jerry traveling, and this is who he ran into. And then all these young people are commenting on it and stuff.
Well, with our life...
So I guess he's really popular guy.
With our life, we run into all kinds of people. And my weird one was in Tampa one year. We were watching the Red Wings hockey game at a sports bar in a hotel bar, Champs in Tampa. And we're sitting in a section, and the waitress says, sorry, this section's reserved for a private group. I'm going to have to move tables. We're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So they move us, and we're just trying to watch the hockey game. And in comes, there's a concert in town, and we know there's a concert because it's like kids everywhere. It's
packed.
Yeah. So in comes all these moms with their daughters getting this redheaded guy's signature, and he's standing in front of our table, and it was Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I believe that was really cool.
He's won a Grammy now and everything else. He bought us a round of drinks and apologized. Real stand-up guy. Because he knew we had no idea who the hell he was.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the best. I think celebrities like it a lot when you're not a fan person and you're just a regular person.
And guys, when a celebrity is eating at a table and he's in conversation, don't go up. Don't bug him. Give him his personal space. That's all they want.
No, I never did. Yeah.
Because
I had a lot of jobs.
Anything.
Right. That's the hard part, too. I was so cognizant of that I have a bunch of autographs, but I would wait to see how the day would go when I was working with a celebrity, because I used to do a lot for broadcast for Entertainment Tonight and MTV and all this kind of stuff. So I would wait, and if I felt like it was not ridiculous, then I would ask them to sign a business card. And back then, most of that time, we didn't have phone cameras, so I didn't get the selfies. But I have a few pictures with people. But, that's like working with them. So you're on a different level. They look at you differently.
Yep.
I had a game I always played with them, though, and I might have talked about it with some of our limousine talk when you did it. Yeah. I would sometimes pretend I didn't know who the hell they were.
Yeah. A lot of times I had no idea who they were.
But that makes things easier for them, I think, sometimes. Other times I would do it on purpose just to see what happened so I could mess with them. And I would go, so you're some kind of what? So what are you, an actor or something?
Some kind of famous
and it's
person?
somebody, yeah. Right, I was doing that to, who the hell is the guy's name that he played, at the time he was in the X-Files as the replacement for Mulder.
Okay.
I forgot his name. He also was the guy Robert Patrick. He played the Terminator 2, the one in that famous Terminator movie where he turned into liquid. That guy.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the time he was in a movie called Ladder 49.
Yeah.
With John Travolta.
The fire movie. Yep.
Yeah. So I was doing that to him. I'm just going, so you're some sort of an actor or something, huh? And he's like, yep. As though it's a serious question.
Yep.
Like I didn't recognize him. I actually asked for his room because it was called a press junket. Uh-huh. And when they do these, they rent out a bunch of hotel rooms. We move all the camera gear in there. And then they record. They get all these different TV stations on the headsets, like the earpiece for them. They call it an IFB.
Right.
And they'll dial in and they'll ask them a bunch of questions. And then they get sent the footage when it's all over with. So then they can hit 25 different TV stations, whether it be satellite or pre-recorded, and they can cover it all. But anyway, I asked for his room because of the X-Files, because Lisa's a huge X-Files fan, and I figured, Agent Doggett was his name on the show the last season.
Is that the alias he travels under? Because a lot of them travel under aliases.
Those are funny, too. But this guy, the one weird thing about Robert Patrick was that he turned out to be, to me, a caricature of a 1974 lounge guy because he had on like a silk shirt that was unbuttoned with a giant gold medallion on.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there talking to me for a while just going like, you really got to see this movie, man. And I don't usually talk up movies very much, but this one really is special. There's something great about it. He was selling it to me hard. Right. When I saw the movie with Joaquin Phoenix and John Travolta and stuff, I thought, well, it's a decent movie, but it's not that great. So I think he was just hard selling me on the movie, thinking that I had some pull with the stations or something,
Well, we've got our own celebrity that just walked in right now. Bob.
Who, Waka Flocka Flame?
No, Bob in the background just walked in.
Hi, Jerry.
All right, I have something for him.
Okay.
Call him towards the table, just so he knows.
Yep.
I can hear you.
Come over. You got to talk louder.
Okay. All right. Good. He can hear.
Yep.
So we get a post on our Facebook page from listener and friend Corey O'Connell.
Yes.
And what it is it's this commercial from the Ford Motor Company that tells you that if you need to find your car, all you have to do is put your remote up to your chin and hit the button because it'll increase the range of your stupid remote.
I knew it.
Damn you, Bob in the background.
It had to be true.
He was correct, but it's only on Ford vehicles. So
I was having so much fun. Yes, I can't be only with Ford vehicles, but I was having so much fun thinking about how stupid we seemed in the office testing it out that day, and I came to the conclusion that we're idiots. No. And now we get verified by Ford Motor Company that it's actually a legitimate thing.
If it's from Ford, it's got to be right.
It's got to be true.
Well, they wouldn't put themselves out there like that to be ridiculous. They would they would catch so much heat and look stupid if it wasn't a real deal. So they must have something behind it.
Well, the science made some sense.
By the way, do you like vodka, Bob?
I do.
Oh, Jerry.
I thought so. That's a secret for you, audience. I was told to stay away from a certain topic, and here we are on the show.
You're such a dick, Jerry. Audience, before we started the show, I'm only home for one day, 21 hours before I go off to Houston. And what happened was I go in the fridge in the garage, my man cave, and I noticed there's only a little bit of Tito's left. I'm like, last time I was home, I bought a jug handle bottle of Tito's. what the fuck has Bob been doing? So I don't know if he's hoarding it or if he had some major blowout party here where he's teabagging all my shit. But
yep. He's your teenage kid that's trying to hide it. He just didn't fill the bottle back up again with water.
Well, at least he didn't fill it up with like pop off like my daughter. But I'm like,
yeah, water would have been better.
I'm like, what is he doing while I'm out of town? He must be partying his ass off. So I ended up getting another fifth today, and I also got another fifth of Jack Daniels, just so we have something for the one night that I'm back in town. But I told you not to say anything to Bob about it.
I didn't. I said it to the audience.
Yeah, you told the audience. You didn't tell Bob.
No, I did. I asked Bob the question. I didn't say what it was about. I just was curious if he liked vodka. That's all.
But Tito's Vodka, handmade and distilled in Austin, Texas. Made in the USA.
Let me see here. We're kind of at the time. Should I save my watch list for next week? Because that will make a good title, too.
Well, I've got a story I got to tell you. Because we teased it earlier. And we haven't done a police report in a while. And this is like the anniversary of this police report. So let me bring it up on the internet so I'm factual. This happened in Lakeland, Florida. And it was back in when was it? How many years ago? It was back in 2006. So we're going on the 11-year anniversary.
Okay.
Police in Florida, they had a pullover. They pulled over a vehicle. Had out-of-state license plate. And what happened was the driver fled and ran in the woods. And he was an illegal alien. So that's why this became like major news, right? He hid from the police and he ended up shooting an officer and also the police dog, the canine unit that arrived on the scene, as well as the backup officer. Ended up killing the one officer and the police dog and was hiding in the woods. So the police department, the sheriff, sent out the SWAT team consisting of 10 members, and they fired 110 rounds at this guy. Hit him 68 times.
What was he, Bonnie or Clyde? What's going on with that?
He was like a target, basically.
I guess
so in the press conference, this is the best part. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said he was not concerned by the number of shots fired. You have to understand, he has already shot and killed a deputy, and he's already shot and killed a canine unit and injured another deputy. Judd said on the phone Sunday, quite frankly, we weren't taking any chances. And I suspect that the only reason 110 rounds were fired was that's all the ammunition they had. And then the coroner goes ahead and signs off the death as natural causes.
No, shut up. They can't do natural causes. That's bullshit.
And when asked why he signed it off as natural causes, the coroner replied, when you get shot 68 times, you're going to die.
Well, you're making all this up now.
No, I'm not. Fact check my ass. I don't care. Welcome to Florida. That's our Florida police report for the week.
Oh, yay. Yay. All right. I tried to look up the etymology of the word coroner because it was an interesting word to me, and it means crown, and I have no idea why it would be the guy who... I know. The official who investigates violent, sudden, or suspicious deaths would be working for the Crown. So,
okay.
There you go. There's your tidbit of the day, everybody. Next week, I will be talking with Davin on my topic side about a thought experiment from my friend Paul Garucki, famous movie historian.
We'll also be talking experiment.
Yeah, that. We'll also be talking about how our new idea about pest reduction that you probably forgot about. Okay. And I will go into and tell you how I made the terrorist watch list. So that should be a good one.
Oh, yeah, we teased that. How do you know you're on the terrorist watch list?
Oh, you'll know when you hear the story as to why I'm on the terrorist watch list. So there's a big tease for next week, because right now we have run out of show. And it was nice to have you guys sit with us.
Oh, thanks, guys, for listening. And if you get a chance, view the video of Jerry singing the karaoke song.
Yes.
At Sister Louisa's.
Yes. Thank you. Say it.
Pop a wheelie. I'm popping a wheelie, guys. Have a good one.
Damn it. Hammered jackass can't even close the show.
You gotta keep that in.
I know, I am. Behind the curtain.
I figured you would. Exactly.
All right, everybody.
Pop a
thanks,
wheelie, guys.